Sunday at 10:30 p.m. for Positive TV.
Well, we promised you an exciting journey, and I sure hope you had one, from a true festival to a double Dutch collaboration, even to the world of acting. Well, that will do it for us this week here on A&E Showcase. We hope you'll tune in next time. For now, I'm Jimenita.
The Ministry of Health wishes to advise members of the public that prevention is key during this flu season. Practicing good cough hygiene can make the difference between you and your loved ones getting the flu or spreading the influenza virus. Good cough hygiene habits include covering your mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing, and proper disposal of the tissue in a trash bin. Coughing or sneezing into your upper sleeve near your inner elbow and not your hands when a tissue is not available. Avoiding the use of handkerchiefs and towels as they hold germs, becoming a nest for the virus. And frequently washing your hands with soap and water, which is listed as one of the most important steps you can take to avoid getting sick and passing the virus on to others. If you have any questions about how to practice good cough hygiene to avoid catching or spreading the flu, contact your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the board of Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited giving an update on the Grand Lucayan Hotel deal. Officials from Doctors Hospital say they are preparing to open a facility in the Freeport area. And the Ministry of Health and Wellness eliminating the COVID-19 test requirement. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, the board of Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited releasing a press statement on the progress of the purchase deal of the Grand Lucayan Resort. Officials note that negotiations toward a successful deal on the Grand Lucayan Resort continues to progress satisfactorily. It was announced in the first week of August in a joint statement with Electra America Hospitality Group that the due diligence period was extended by 45 days to September 15th. Now, by virtue of this, the final closing date was also extended to November 15th, 2022. Officials say that the recent 7-day extension did not impact the agreed November closing date, and they anticipate that the sales process will be completed consistent with their revised timelines. The statement continues that the board of Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited remains committed to ensuring that a credible plan and shared vision for the resort is realized, a plan that will provide jobs, entrepreneurial opportunities, and strengthen Grand Bahama's economy. Additionally, officials say they are on track for a successful purchase and signing of a heads of agreement in the best interest of the people of Grand Bahama, adding that there are matters connected to the transaction that are still being negotiated, and they look forward to briefing the public as soon as negotiations are concluded. Well, in other news, the unofficial results of the Bahamas Union of Teachers elections that were held just yesterday on BUT grounds being released. Officials note that the voting process went seamlessly. Those results revealing the new area vice president for Grand Bahama District in the person of John Ingram, following the departure of seasoned trade unionist and former AVP Quentin LaRota. Our Raven Davis has the details.
The BUT unofficial election results are in. Designated Officer for Elections Vaughn Bullard revealing this much today. On Grand Bahama, Unionist John Ingram and Judd Williams going head-to-head to secure the title of Area Vice President for Grand Bahama. Ingram, who served as District Steward for the Union for approximately 1 year, subsequently emerging with that title, securing 80 of the votes, and Williams 56. Ingram says it was a laborious journey up to this point, but he's up for the new challenge.
It's exciting, that the teachers supported me. I appreciate them. I'm ready to work, and being AVP is a tedious job, and we gotta get to work, and I gotta be constantly helping my teachers and making sure they have the best support ever. Right now, I'm gonna start with my plans, what I'm planning on doing. World Teachers Day is coming up, so I want to create a good initiative for the teachers, and so they feel special.
Now, speculation swirling that voter turnout was not as high as it normally would be, but officials contending that not only was the process seamless, but they're pleased with the number of educators that showed up.
The turnout was great, but we could have had more. We were missing like nearly 100 teachers, and but in some cases, like a lot of teachers who I knew personally, they had to do like surgery. We had some death, and then that really put a strain on some teachers coming out.
Also commenting on that suggestion, union member Melinda Green.
I don't know if it's fair to compare it to what happened in the past, because a lot of our members now, as you know, there's a second union, Backawoo, and a number of the members decided to try something new. The membership in Grand Bahama isn't as high as it used to be. So I would say that the turnout was rather good. I think it was really good.
Sandra Major heads that breakaway teachers union, which was reportedly registered in October of 2020. No exact number of eligible voters are available at this time, but the new AVP says in his capacity, he intends to embark on an aggressive campaign to retain lost members.
So I want our members to know that this is going to be a strong union again, and to come back home to BUT, and things are going to be all right now.
The team will participate in a swearing-in ceremony after the results are certified. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, in other news, the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation holding a roundtable discussion with government officials and flying-in ambassadors to discuss the possible return of the air show. Discussions are ongoing, and officials say Grand Bahama can look forward to seeing the show take stage in May of 2023. Jolanda Thompson reports.
During a familiarization trip with a few fixed-base operators and flying ambassadors, the Ministry of Tourism has brought all of the players in the aviation market to discuss detailed plans on the proposed air show. The meeting is in reason for finding solutions on how to tackle problems in the ministry and how best to promote the island. Tourism's District Manager of Verticals, Ahmad Williams, discusses details of what was mentioned in the meeting.
It's more so to promote it much better and make it much easier pertaining to fees, the information. If they can spread the information much better throughout the islands and then throughout the U.S. and abroad to make it easier coming to the Bahamas.
Williams says these fixed-based operators are the ones who frequently visit the Bahamas, noting their interactions with pilots and guests coming onto the island. He says they are aware of the issues they face when landing on the island and hopes the government can make some changes.
What they would like for us to be able to provide the right information of how to enter the Bahamas easy and how to exit the Bahamas easy, and what fees are the correct fees of the Bahamas, and also to show that pilots they might have a plane, but they're not, always the rich people, So not to tax them just because they have a plane. So don't tackle them with so much fees coming into the Bahamas. After Hurricane Dorian and the pandemic, aviation was one of the markets that actually sustained the Bahamas. Actually, aviation grew. and the amount of planes that actually came to the Bahamas grew as well too. So aviation is a very important market to the Bahamas, and we're just trying to show everyone and explain to them how important it is for the market.
Rick Gardner, CSD Flight Services and Flying Ambassador, says their reason for promoting the island is because the Bahamas has created a simple system that makes it easy for other pilots and visitors to visit. And now is the time for the air show to play an effective part in helping the community improve its wealth.
So it's a tremendous opportunity to drive money into the Bahamian economy, okay, and help restaurant owners, hotel owners, taxi drivers, fishermen, whatever. It's a great market. It's a very, very lucrative market, and the Bahamas stands head and shoulders above any other country.
Flying Ambassador for 12 years, Mike Z, says those that attending the meeting are very positive and looking forward to the air show next year. He mentions their goals moving forward.
Two of the things we're going to be bringing back to the show is we had a career fair for Bahamian students to see what the careers in aviation are, but we're bringing back an international TV marketing online presence. So we're going to be able to show this worldwide, all over the world. These airplanes, cameras mounted on the planes, flying over the beautiful Tano Beach. So that's a really big one. And the other thing we're doing is we're working with Sun and Fun. That's part of my role, too, is to work as a liaison between Sun and Fun, which is the largest air show in Florida. They partnered with the government of the Bahamas about 2015. We're going to try to bring a couple of hundred airplanes in, tourists, to fill up the hotel rooms.
The air show is scheduled to be held during Memorial Weekend in May 2023. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson.
Thanks, Yolanda. Well, the Ministry of Health and Wellness releasing a statement eliminating the COVID-19 test requirement for entering the Bahamas. The statement reads that the Ministry of Health and Wellness, via the COVID-19 Advisory Committee, confirms that effective Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, the requirement for unvaccinated persons to have a negative COVID-19 test to enter the Bahamas has been eliminated. Vaccinated and unvaccinated citizens and visitors can enter the Bahamas without testing, regardless of status. Additionally, the statement says all other platforms that capture and report on COVID-19 testing and related data in the country will remain in place, and the results will continue to be reported to the Surveillance Unit at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Officials say that they will continue to monitor the COVID-19 pandemic and adjust protocols as necessary based on the latest scientific data. Meanwhile, the 2022 hurricane season is picking up with storms. Currently, Tropical Depression 9 sits in the South Central Caribbean Sea, which Chief Meteorologist Siobhan Moxie Bonamy says is progressing into the west-northwest direction.
Over time, it is anticipated that it will make more of a northwest turn and then a more northerly and then northeasterly turn sometime in the middle of next week. All indications are that it will gradually develop into a tropical storm and possibly the next name on the hurricane list, which is Ermine. Should this occur, it is anticipated that this system will pass, expected, if the track holds through, to cross the western side of Cuba, come up behind the west side of the Florida Keys in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and then to the back of south central Florida area.
Now, the officer in charge also mentions that the storm is still in its developing stage, resulting in it being too early to detect if the Bahamas will be impacted.
Will wobble and they will deviate from day to day. So as we get closer to the middle of next week, we'll be able to get a better handle on the track of what would possibly be tropical storm or hurricane Ermine. We're still in the very active part of the hurricane season. It's expected to peak early in October. So we should more or less have concluded our preparations. And I would definitely admonish all Bahamians, in particular those in the extreme northern islands, Bimini, Abaco, Grand Bahama, the surrounding keys, to, of course, monitor the progress of this system.
Now, Bonamy also says that the Weather Office will be closely monitoring this storm, and of course, this is a story that we will continue to follow. And when we come back, hear from a Bahamian producer who has landed the theme song to Tyler Perry's new show. Also, the Junior Achievers program relaunching on Grand Bahama. Those stories along with your check on sports when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
Come on down. Come on down now.
With over 30 years of service with integrity, services in Abaco, New Providence, and Grand Bahama, providing modern and state-of-the-art equipment, specializing in the maintenance and operation of waste treatment plants, waste oil movement, sludge extraction, tank cleaning, elite portable toilets, and hand wash stations. We are efficient, reliable, and cutting edge. We are B&B Galaxy.
Esquire Men's Freeport has extended its summer sidewalk savings into September. Everything $30 and under, every Saturday during September. Call them at 352-8816. Don't miss the buy two, get one free sale going on now at Pandora, Port Lucayan.
Only those who understand it know it.
To know where he came from is a blessing.
Sometimes I actually do get emotional.
It gets hard. Like sometimes I want to give up, especially when I see a lot of my friends or people I know with the disease dying. I feel lost.
Join us for a 3-part series, Stronger Than Sickle Cell, airing this Monday, September 26th through Wednesday, September 28th, right here on the ZNS Network.
The King of the North is back. Howard 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
And welcome back. A local youth organization is returning here on Grand Bahama and is expanding. Junior Achievement Bahamas promotes economic literacy and understanding of business and competitive free enterprise among young Bahamians. It is now transitioning from virtual to face-to-face, and as our Aja Kwan tells us, registration for students around the island is now open.
World's largest youth-serving NGOs, Junior Achievement Worldwide activates youth for the future of jobs. Here in the Bahamas, the organization has been operating successful programs for over 40 years. The program has proven to help students understand the importance of financial literacy and how it plays an intricate role in every community. Now, JA Grand Bahama returns for students interested, and program coordinator Jaquian Carroll says there is something new in the pipeline here on the island.
Junior Achievement is available for all ages now, Aja, from elementary straight on up to senior high school. These will be known as the club programs for the ages that will take us, let's say, from kindergarten right on up to grade 9. They will be facilitated within the schools. We still have our club program, which is the high school program that everybody's familiar and known with. Now that happens still after school, and that's done with volunteers as well.
This particular aspect of Junior Achievement has been running for 11 years in New Providence, and Carol says the time is now for the Family Islands.
Financial literacy, you know, that is a mainstream right now, and we need to get it out there. And we're able to now offer it in our Family Islands, such as Grand Bahama, Abaco. There are talks happening there now. We have it in Central Andros as well as Eleuthera.
And with the Bahamas returning to some type of normalcy following the COVID-19 pandemic, Carol notes that JA Grand Bahama will be returning face-to-face.
The students have demanded, let's get back to face-to-face. Now that we're able to do that, we can still be prepared to go virtual, mind you. However, in this instant, when we go face-to-face, we're going to get that interaction. We're going to get back to the products to being made, being sold, and the community to be able to help and reach out to our achievers as well. Financial literacy. work readiness. All of these things will be taught. Entrepreneurship. We have a lot of students, even through the pandemic, Azure, that came out as business persons. So now we're going to mold them more, get them guided, and give them the steps to help prepare them. Even so, from kindergarten, you'd be surprised they're out there selling their little lip gloss and their bonnets, So yeah, just to culture them and guide them along.
Now, registration closes the end of September for senior high students and can be located at www.jabahamas.org. However, registration for the school program remains open and can be found at the respective schools. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Thanks, Aja. Well, a Bahamian music producer having his dreams come true, Chavez Vezi Parker's instrumental was selected for the theme song of Tyler Perry's latest show, Zatima, now streaming on BET+. He says it is one of his most recent accomplishments. Shane Stubbs has more.
Bahamian music producer and Grand Bahama native Chavez Parker is the producer behind the theme song for Tyler Perry's new show on BET+, Zatima, a spin-off from Perry's hit show Sisters, which also airs on the platform. The creative licensing manager at Blaze Unlimited, stationed in Georgia, talks to us about what went behind the creative process.
I decided to go with this old school 90s R&B, but I try to, mix it a little bit with new age stuff so it could still appease to everybody. And it took me quick. It didn't take me much time at all to get the track done.
Parker notes it took some time for the track to be selected, but hearing that his track was among the ones loved by Tyler Perry Studios meant the world to him.
I had to wait. I probably wait about 2 or 3 weeks before I heard anything back. And come to find out, that was one of the ones, one of the ones out of the top 3 that they really wanted. And it was the first one out of the top 3 that they really wanted. After we did revisions on the top 3 that they sent back, and they're like, hey, we like these. I had to wait another 6-7 weeks or so because they had to get the approval from Tyler Perry himself. And when that came through, when the email came in, it was Tyler Perry loved, perfect, blah, blah, blah. I was elated.
For other up-and-coming artists and producers from the Bahamas, Parker shares a word of encouragement to continue their pursuit of their dreams.
No matter where I went, which country I was living in at the time, I made it my business to let everybody know who I was surrounded with, that, hey, I do music, I produce music, I play, connect me with the studios, connect me with the artists, etc. And so I always been about networking and pushing myself. And so that's one of the main things that I would encourage upcoming Bahamian artists, whether you be a rapper, singer, producer, whatever, network.
The show is currently streaming on BET Plus with new episodes premiering every Thursday. The show follows couple Zach and Fatima as they navigate the ups and downs of their relationship. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
And although inclement weather has put their plans on hold, a number of local schools and civic organizations will gather on multiple beaches for the 37th Annual International Coastal Cleanup on Saturday, September 24th. The initiative is spearheaded by the sustainable tourism sector in the Ministry of Tourism, along with the Earth Care. Grand Bahama will once again lend a hand in assisting the Ocean Conservancy.
Last year, we collected 700 pounds of trash. Yeah. So they really did do a great job, and it was just civic organizations. So imagine now with the schools.
That data, as well as the weight and the distance covered, will be sent to the Ocean Conservancy in Maryland. And the Ocean Conservancy puts together a global report. Grand Bahama Island has been participating, like I said, since the late 80s. So the Ocean Conservancy has detailed records of all the waste that from West End to East End.
Hinging off with the success from last year's cleanup of the local civic organizations, say they are ready to put their gloves on and get back to work.
We will be cleaning the Lucayan beach, and along with us will be the Leo's Junior Club that will also assist with the cleanup.
Most of our country is made up of the ocean, so we want to keep that garbage out of the ocean by cleaning up our coast.
I encourage all Bahamians, if you're out tomorrow, to come out,
especially in Grand Bahama, come out and help us clean up the beaches.
This is not only a local event, but national and global. And so we always want to take part in initiatives that help to keep Grand Bahama clean. And so beginning at the beaches is certainly something that we want to participate in.
Well, the Falcons Boys Club continuing their month-long slate of back-to-school activities with a prayer, praise, and pizza service on Saturday with over 100 boys in attendance. Club founder Darren Roll says he is grateful to Family Guardian and all sponsors involved for making the ceremony a success. Meanwhile, District Manager of the Home Service Division at Family Guardian, Rhonda Wallace, says it is always a pleasure to assist with reinforcing good habits in the young men.
We just wanted to cover our boys in a time of prayer. The Falcons Boys Club is celebrating 26th annual back-to-school giveaway, and this was one of the many things that we're doing during the month of September. And then next week, Friday, we're having a maritime and an aviation seminar. We're going to have some planes coming in from Nassau, some planes coming in from the United States, some partners, and 30 boys is going to be introduced to an aviation seminar.
Many times we just heard about what the bad things the young guys are doing, but this adventure today, it showed that there could be positivity coming from young men.
Your Friday evening sports check is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of sports right here in the North. We have quite a few sports updates for you. Let's begin with volleyball. The high school volleyball season begins next week, Monday. One team looking to make a run at the title is Sunland Baptist Academy.
Last school term we ended with volleyball, and my junior girls actually won the last championship. Our senior girls, they made the championship but came second to Tabernacle Baptist. And this year now we're anticipating the games. We're trying to sharpen the skills that we know we fell down on in last season. So we're just trying to work on those so that we can come out this year and participate at our utmost best. Serves was one of our major problems, so we're trying our best to work on those serves. Once we get those balls over, then we can actually work on getting a point. But outside of that, our passing, we're trying to work on those high balls and just to time our balls properly and get them over the net so we can actually ground the ball on our opponent's side of the court.
The senior boys team will be defending their title.
It's good to have the volleyball back playing again, as this is the fourth sport that we set the tone for the rest of the school year. And the expectations for Sunland is always high because we've been up there, we've won a couple tournaments. I think we're the defending champions for the senior boys. And so expectations is high.
Sticking with volleyball action over on the island of Abaco, their high school season got off to a start yesterday at the Agape School Gymnasium. In senior girls play, Agape defeated Long Bay in 2 straight sets, 25-13 and 25-15. In the second game, Agape won against Long Bay in 2 straight sets again, 25-10 and 25-13. Up next on the schedule, SC Boodle will match up against Patrick J. Bethel in junior boys play. In senior girls action, Agape will go up against Forest Heights, while SC Boodle will play Patrick J. Bethel in senior boys action. And finally in sports, softball playoff continues this weekend at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. Softball president Martha Edgecombe gave us this update on the league.
We had a lot of issues with the field that had to be repaired first in order for us to get to this point. And some of the repairs took a little longer, and so some of the players started to get a little uninterested. And so once we decided to come back out full force, once the repairs were done, then once we extended the invitation to the teams, they came out full force, they supported us. Right now we're in the championship series, all women, best out of 7. We have all men, best out of 7. They'll be playing next. But it's been great overall, and the support that we've gotten from the fans is tremendous.
And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed. Back to you, Remiko.
Thanks, Jay. It's now time for your energy efficiency tips with the Grand Bahama Power Company.
Hi, my name is Janelle Mizik, Communication Specialist at the Grand Bahama Power Company, coming to you with an energy efficiency tip from Grand Bahama Power Company's Smart Home. Let's talk about appliance maintenance. Just like your vehicle, your appliances require some level of servicing in order to continue to operate at a healthy level. If you were to go for a long period of time without servicing your vehicle, changing your oil or rotating your tires, eventually your car will stop working. The same goes for your appliances. Dirty dryer vents can cause a fire hazard. Clean your dryer's lint trap as well as your dryer's ductwork. Vacuum or blow off your refrigerator's coils in order to keep them running efficiently. Check your refrigerator or freezer's seals to ensure that they are in good condition. If they become hard, petroleum jelly can be used to soften them. Clean the filter of your range hood or replace it when necessary. If you have a self-cleaning oven, use that feature only when home so that you can monitor it. Your air conditioning units should be tested yearly by a technician to ensure that it's working correctly, as dirt and dust can limit your cooling and shorten your unit's lifespan. Keep in mind that all appliances have a limited lifespan. You should maintain a budget in order to avoid the unexpected cost of having to replace them. For this and more energy efficiency tips, visit us at the Smart Home in the Region Center or follow us on Facebook.
Notice Production.
The summer is back, back, back. The summer is hot.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Harvey's Tech Bargains. Westmont Plaza carries electronics, games, consoles, Fire Stick, smart TVs, tablets, laptops, accessories, and much more. Phone 602-7657 or 727-6877.
Saturday, September 24th, 8 p.m. It's all about Rake and Scrape Reloaded Part 7 at No Holds Bar and Lounge, Settlers Way. Admission is free.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North.
Natasha Francis, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and we also want to wish you a happy birthday. Special birthday greetings also goes out to Audrey Williams on your birthday from the team here in the North. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. We ask that you stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Have a wonderful weekend.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, Pending Blacklisting. Forced recessions, boosting UB's enrollment, and Panthers win Game 1 of basketball championships. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Certainly not the kind of news any government wants to hear, but it's exactly what the Davis administration is up against. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mukesh Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The government is bracing for what the European Union is expected to deliver. In a joint statement from the Ministry of Finance and the Attorney General's office comes news of the expectation that the Bahamas will be added to the EU's list of non-cooperative jurisdictions. To put things in context, the statement points out that soon after the 2021 general election, the new government received notice of certain deficiencies related to the implementation of the Commercial Entities Substance Requirements Act of 2018 and the economic substance reporting found in the monitoring for both 2019 and 2020. However, despite efforts to satisfy the EU's concerns, not all of the deficiencies could be addressed before the review this past April, which brings the Bahamas face to face with a pending blacklist. The government has committed, though, to closing the remaining gaps expeditiously and to seeking a redetermination of the country's status within the shortest possible time. While Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, called the pending blacklisting unfair.
It is rather disappointing and a premature action on their part. Since we took office, we have been in dialogue with the powers that be in relation to some long outstanding issues. We thought that we would have addressed them all, and in fact, we dispatched the Attorney General and the Minister of Economic Affairs to Brussels to ensure that they understood the regime that we have. And the dialogue has been continuing. From we got into office, we were looking at these issues that they say are outstanding. And the challenge has always been, whenever we address one issue, there appears to be something else coming up. The goalpost is never set. It's always moving. And we cannot seem to get it right unless and until those who inform the decision makers understand the regime that we have set up. Hence, we engage the Finance Committee of the United States Congress, Ms. Maxine Waters and her committee, to assist us in this dilemma.
Well, the Prime Minister was speaking to our news team from New York, where on Saturday he will address the United Nations General Assembly on the ever-pressing issue of climate change.
We have been what I call, for many years, the garbage collectors of the carbon emission of the world, and the time has come for the loss and damage that countries like ours have suffered to be compensated one way or the other. And also speak perhaps of the changing of the dialogue from climate justice and fairness to perhaps enlightened self-interest, because I think countries have to understand that doing nothing is not an option for them, because it is clear that if we continue the path that we are on and not have responses as we are advocating for, they too are subject to have challenges, like their political dynamics being changed because of climate refugees.
On to another serious issue this evening. Could the world be on the cusp of a global recession, and where does the Bahamas fit in this scenario? A local economist is giving his take on what he says are somewhat volatile times and provides advice for Bahamians to maneuver through them. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
Governments are trying to force a recession to curb and control rising inflation. So says economist Gowan Bowe, after FedEx President and CEO Raj Subramaniam sounded the alarm, suggesting a slowdown in demand for packages was indicative of the start of a global recession. FedEx predicted it would fall $500 million short of its revenue target. Bowe says efforts to tamp down ballooning inflation is a corrective measure.
Because inflation is rampant, because consumers still have monies that are being spent, there's a
contraction being forced by governments around the world in order to do so. So it is, people will call it more of a controlled recession, with the hope that if we can get inflation under control through forcing economies into recession, we'll be able to come out of recession quickly, because it is not, what I'm going to say, a global phenomenon or event that is causing the recession.
As Bo explains, a recession is just a slowdown in consumption and negative growth, adding that the Federal Reserves in the U.S. this week raised interest rates by 75 basis points in its bid to get a grip on inflation. He further notes that the Bahamas inherits inflation and recessions and should position itself to determine its niche markets in tourism or financial services and push recession-proof goods and services.
And we know tourism is not recession-proof, but if we keep high service, high quality, even though we're high price, the target markets that we tend to focus on in terms of the nuclear family earning $150,000 plus, they will be better able to withstand recessionary pressures and hopefully still able to travel, even if it's not for the same extended stays.
He says the war in Ukraine and fiscal stimulus placed on economies during the COVID-19 pandemic have also contributed to artificial inflation. To Bahamians being hard hit by inflation, Bo reasons the public consider if their complaint is that they cannot buy at all or are just unable to buy as much.
What I was able to buy pre this inflationary pressures was more, but now that I have effectively less purchasing power, it doesn't mean I don't have purchasing power. And so what it means is, some will say, well, I wasn't living comfortably or luxurious before, but if you look at it and say, well, I am getting the basics, I am looking to stretch every dollar, would you much rather not have income, which potentially could happen in a recession, or just have to cut back on what you spend on, even if it makes it more difficult?
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, despite news of pending blacklisting and forced recessions, come the assurance that the extension given to close the $100 million Our Lucayan deal will not impact its closing date before year's end. In fact, Lucayan Renewal Holdings Chairman Julian Russell says negotiations continue to progress satisfactorily, adding that it's anticipated the sales process will be completed consistent with revised timelines. Last month, the due diligence period was extended by 45 days to September 15th, with the final closing date pushed to November 15th. The Our Lucayan deal is key to Grand Bahama's economic resurgence through its jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities. Just register. The two words officials from the procurement unit are pushing in a bid to place more focus on the small man looking to realize big dreams.
There's a lot of contracts out there. You can go onto the site right now. You would find over 15 contracts right now. And the ones that is on the site right now is pertaining to the Junkanoo groups. Come on, down to putting the electrical wires out there onto the sites where the Junkanoo is going to be. All of the family island places that host Junkanoos, they are looking for persons out there to supply everything that the parade needs. Right now, they're looking for cowbells, goatskin drums. They're looking for chairs, tables, tents, whatever is out there that you can do to make this parade a success. It's on the site right now as we speak.
And according to Cornell Ramming of the Ministry of Finance's Procurement Department, registration comes down to a 5-minute process. Name, email address, NIB number, and you're in. Every time there's a contract, you're notified, and approval, he said, is within about 2 minutes.
You can actually make the millions that you want in an honest way, and everything is transparent. There's nobody that is going to come to you and say, the minister this and the minister that. We allow the system to do the work, and the system actually does the work. It does not see colors. The system sees Bahamians looking for an opportunity. So I ask you to please come on down, register. If you don't, you can't handle the system. You don't have a computer. We got Mr. Christopher Minnis here. He can help you register. We have Breon Scott. He can help you register. We've got Patricia at the office. We've got our Chief Procurement Officer, Mr. Carl Oliver, and myself, Cornell Ramming. Please, come on down.
The official results not yet in, but Labor Director Robert Farquharson this afternoon confirmed that Belinda Wilson and her entire team have been overwhelmingly voted back in following Thursday's Bahamas Union of Teachers elections. This is the 6th consecutive win for the union head, who will now lead the BUT for another 3 years. Wilson's victory coming on the heels of her sealing a new industrial agreement for her members. Well, University of the Bahamas officials have their work cut out for them, addressing a problem that could very well be likened to a brain drain of sorts at the tertiary institution. Carla Palmer tells us more.
Having just signed a new industrial contract with its management team at the University of the Bahamas, President of UB, Dr. Eric Rowland, says efforts will begin in earnest to aggressively address the problem of enrollment at the country's premier tertiary institution. Acknowledging that enrollment has not increased, Dr. Rowland says he and his team have an action plan.
Our enrollment has remained flat through the COVID pandemic, which we are very, very proud of. It comes at a phenomenal efforts around the university by our managers and our leaders and our staff. We are at about 4,300 students as of today. We have a strategic enrollment plan in the works that we started working on about a month ago, where we are looking at how that is going to progress into the future. We're not ready to talk about the data from that plan yet, but I would like to say I'm very proud of our faculty and our staff and our managers who have managed to keep the enrollment steady. And that, as you may know, contrary to almost any other university in the world where enrollment has dropped off after COVID, we have stayed steady.
The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in significant changes in the education system, inclusive of the consistent use of the virtual learning platform. Dr. Rowland anticipates that for several reasons, this resource tool may be utilized by UB even more moving forward.
You have choice where you have a mix of modalities, and this is something that our Academic Affairs Division is working on experimenting with right now. As we say, I don't think there's a university in this world who believes that we're going to go back to where we were in February of 2020. For us as a nation here, being a nation of islands, we in particular have to make remote or virtual or whatever you want to call it, instruction a part of what we do. That is a part of the future. It's a part of the future for two reasons. Not only because we're a nation of islands, it's also because we are a world of continuous learning and lifelong learning. That means people have commitments, they have jobs, they have children, they go in and out of careers. They pursue new passions in the middle of their lives. They didn't realize that they were passionate about something. They require new training. These are all issues that we are working very hard at addressing.
In some instances, Dr. Rowland says the process of virtual learning is underway. He says right now it's being enacted with the launch of additional graduate programs. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Hi, this is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dane with a tropical weather update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas. Very busy tropics tonight. Fiona continues to race towards the north-northeast at some 40 miles per hour. It's heading towards Nova Scotia on the east coast of Canada, and that will continue to generate some large swells across the north and eastern coast of the Bahamas. And the forecast track, as you can see, taking it north-northeast at that 40 miles per hour with no problems, save for those moderate to large swells that will affect the Bahamas. And then we have Gaston, which is still in the far northern Atlantic. It's now moving south across portions of the Azores Islands, packing winds of 60 miles per hour, and that will weaken a bit over the next couple of days. And the newly minted tropical storm Hermine, this formed late this afternoon, some 290 miles to the north-northeast of the Capo Verde Islands. It's also moving north-northwest at some 9 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds at 40 miles per hour. No problem for us here in the the Bahamas. And then we have, that's just the track of Hermine. We'll continue to move north and then eventually take a turn towards the northeast by the middle of next week. And then finally, we are looking at this area of showers and thunderstorms. This is Tropical Depression number 9, which continues to move towards the west-northwest at some 15 miles per hour. At 5 o'clock, the center was some 340 miles to the east-southeast of Kingston, Jamaica, with packet winds of 35 miles per hour. The forecast track is expected to continue on that track right into Monday, at which time we expect a tropical storm to form by Sunday, and this will continue shifting towards the northwest, moving over the western tip of Cuba as a Category 2. So the Florida Peninsula, they must watch out very closely for this system, as we expect it to be a Category 3 by the time it reaches the west coast of the Florida Peninsula. And of course, Bimini and Grand Bahama, they will be on the strong eastern side of that hurricane, and hence they need to keep a watch on this very, very closely over the next several days. This has been a Tropical Weather Update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We are a leading Bahamian bank, one of the largest publicly traded companies on BISX. Our measure of strength is our growth and performance, with over $1.7 billion in assets. We remain committed to serving the interests of our shareholders, staff, clients, and communities. The confidence to lead, the performance to remain. We are Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Real-time rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
When you wanna save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you wanna look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Long Island Member of Parliament and former Water and Sewage Corporation Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson, along with his co-accused, were back in court today, this time to be arraigned before Senior Justice Bernard Turner on alleged corruption and malfeasance charges. Gibson is accused of gaining a financial advantage of more than $1 million from contracts given to Elite Maintenance and Baha Maintenance and Restoration, in addition to having laundered the illegally obtained funds by purchasing properties and vehicles. In court, Gibson pleaded not guilty to some 56 charges, while his cousin Rashay Gibson, campaign manager Joan Knowles, former WS&C General Manager Elwood Donaldson, Peaches Farquharson, and Jerome Missick also denied any involvement in the matter. Co-accused Tanya Demerit pleaded guilty earlier. The case has been adjourned to Monday, September 26 at 9:30 a.m. in Chambers. Well, from the courts, we go to the police this evening who've let loose the identity of the man shot and killed on Thursday. The 42-year-old has been identified as Darren William Gibson of South Street off Nassau Street. Gibson was reportedly walking north on Mays Close when he was shot multiple times by a male who exited a van. Authorities are still uncertain of the circumstances surrounding the incident and are appealing to anyone who can assist with investigations to the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991 or simply call Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. On the health front, those 3 COVID cases on the intensive care unit have dropped back down to 2, while another 19 people are listed in hospital as moderately ill. The September 22nd dashboard also showing 11 new COVID cases, 9 of them on New Providence, the remaining 2 on Grand Bahama. At last count, there were 133 active cases and 9 recoveries. Well, the Public Hospitals Authority getting quite a donation from the Embassy of the Federative Republic of Brazil. Earlier this week, 1,200 cases of hand sanitizers were handed over. The donation totaled some 14,239 fluid ounces. The PHA's Assistant Director, Siobhan Barrow, says they'll benefit significantly from the sanitizers' use in the continued fight against the coronavirus and other infections. In other news, a week-long orientation and training exercise ending for hundreds of participants who, within the next few days, will be counted among the country's public servants. The group part of the second cohort of the Public Service Professional Engagement Program. Carla Palmer tells us more.
225 young Bahamians, 18 years and older, packed the hall at the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union headquarters, Farrington Road, in a closeout ceremony of training that would lead to the start of a working career. The group are a part of the government's New Day agenda in the public service of what's being described as a transformative and progressive training cohort, after which each participant will be placed in different government ministries. Minister of State in the Public Service, the Honorable Pia Gloverole, made clear the overall objective.
We don't expect you to come in and to conform. We expect you to come in and transform. And that is critical in ensuring that we're delivering a transformed public service. Technically, you will be apprentices for 52 weeks. You'll be on-the-job training. You'll be learning while you earn. That ain't bad, right? That ain't bad, right? Okay.
The expectation by the government, according to Minister Gloverole, is for those trained to train others.
We want you to have a career. We want you to envision this as coming into the public service and building a career. So that speaks to long term. Finding out where you fit. What is it that you do well? What is it that you enjoy doing? And ensuring that we place you in the career paths that will speak to longevity.
Minister Gloverole is convinced that proper placement of people is key to realizing productivity. Focusing on upskilling, she says, is also a priority.
You are the persons who we're using to build capacity, where we have analyzed where our needs are throughout the public and in some instances private sector, and we're placing you in those positions. And in years ahead, you will be the persons who will then mentor the new recruits that will come in. If you see that it's not a good fit, let us know, because that's what this 52 weeks is about, analyzing the right place for you.
Minister Gloverole also highlighted that the group is all-inclusive, engaging those differently abled persons.
For persons with disabilities, we've engaged, and I'm proud to say that we have taken on, I think, about 35 so far.
The job initiative is being conducted in partnership with 2 telecommunications companies, Cable Bahamas and Alive. Edward Duncombe is Vice President of Human Resources at Cable Bahamas Group of Companies.
We're looking forward to just hosting you. We are excited because we understand that the brightest talent is needed for us to really launch this country forward.
Job placement for the group is expected to begin sometime next week. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
High-level meetings with potential investors, corporate partners, sports teams, film and art agencies, trade partners and other tourism stakeholders on the agenda for tourism officials during an upcoming trip to New York City and New Jersey, the second leg of a global sales and marketing mission. In any given year, the two states account for 15 to 19% of tourist arrivals from the United States. Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says the missions are not just a chance to promote the local tourism product, but an opportunity for the Bahamas to reintroduce itself as the top destination for travel. The global missions are expected to continue through May 2023, with stops throughout the U.S., Canada, Brazil, and the United Arab Emirates. And the results are in from this week's poll question. And as a reminder, participants were asked, do you think there should be protection against rape in Bahamian law? Well, on our Facebook page, 71.43% of you said yes, while 28.57% no to the question. On the ZNS Network website, yes pulled in 83% of the votes, no 17. And 90.7% of you tweeted yes. No dispute there, the yes have it. An overwhelming number of you believe there should be protection against marital rape in Bahamian law. As always, thanks for participating. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Florida is a very important market for the Bahamas. For us, this is generally a verticals market. Boating, fishing, diving, romance, all of the niche markets, as well as our MICE markets, which would be the incentives, groups, conferences, events. Orlando, in particular, is one of the fastest growing states in the U.S. For us, it's important to be able to tap into that. I think it's estimated that 75 million tourists visit Orlando annually, and our goal is to integrate, complement, and introduce 2-center and 3-center vacations where we can also use our national flag carrier, Bahamas Air, to bring additional airlift into the Bahamas. We have airlift into many of our family of islands and also New Providence and Grand Bahama, and it's a perfect fit. We're going to continue to grow the markets that we've historically done well at, which would be the Florida market. We're going to tap into any untapped resources and capitalize on every opportunity that's available. Missions for us is a very important time. It's where we re-engage, we connect with the travel trade media, wholesalers. Not only are we open for business, but it's showing you what the Bahamas has to offer. For us, the next step obviously is to follow through. There's a lot of engagement, there's a lot of excitement. Now it's an opportunity for the return on the investments. We have our hotel partners here, we have tour operators here, we have everyone here, and there is excitement. As we are in the rebound and recovery mode, we're looking at the numbers, we're doing very well, and so, you know, it's robust. The market is strong, the interest is definitely there, and there's no stopping the Bahamas.
Watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk.
you spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
What? Check old girl, boy. Say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
The Chinese embassy pulling out all the stops last night for its 73rd National Day, the birthday of its republic. The event drawing a number of faces from the diplomatic corps, including the acting Prime Minister. Jimenita Swain tells us more.
Diplomats turning out Thursday evening to celebrate China's 73rd National Day with embassy officials mixing and mingling during a reception. At the time, Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, Dai Ching-li, reflected on a country's continued growth, having moved from poverty to now the second largest economy in the world.
We overcame floods, droughts, earthquakes, mudslides, wildfires, a mounting downward pressure on the economy. And we continue to fight the pandemic while promoting growth and recovery. In the first half of this year, China's GDP grew by 2.5%, foreign trade by 9.4% year-on-year. Inflation was kept below 2%. Trade with and direct investment in Belt and Road countries increased by nearly 18% and 5% respectively.
With China being the land of opportunities, it's a growth she expects to continue. As for Bahamas-China relations, the ambassador highlighted its positive momentum.
The political foundation of our relations has remained strong, thanks to the Bahamas' adherence to the One China principle. We have continued to work to fight the pandemic together. China has so far provided 9 batches of medical supplies to the Bahamas. A new batch is now ready and will be shipped soon. We are working to build bridges between our business communities, encourage trade, to ease the cost of living challenges, and take forward agricultural cooperation.
Among the invited guests, Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, who acknowledged the Bahamas and China's strong relations.
Our two countries had occasion to sign 3 bilateral agreements, one between Grand Bahama and the province of Yunnan to set in motion a sister city program. This will assist in widening the understanding of our two nations beyond the capital cities. And we continue to see and appreciate the efforts of the local Bahamian Chinese community in bridging the space between Chinese and Bahamian culture.
Following pleasantries were a number of toasts.
And a toast to celebration, and a toast to the founding of the 73rd anniversary of the People's Republic of China.
Cultural performances. Awards for the Bahamas National Youth Choir and the Bel Canto Singers, and martial arts demonstrations. The night will also see a display of traditional Chinese fashion. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jimenita Swain.
The Mother Pratt Foundation today making a substantial donation of children and adult slippers to the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development. A trailer full of the footwear brought into the country through donations made to former Deputy Prime Minister Cynthia Mother Pratt's charity. Pratt says she recognized the great need, and considering the government alone can't do everything, she was motivated to assist.
They've sent 16,000 pairs of footwear, and they've sent 22,000 to Grand Bahama. And so Ron and Diane Cacciatoris are the donors. So I want to make that quite clear. But I wanted to present these to the minister because I know the need in the Family Islands, particularly today after COVID. And so I believe that in sending these things, we can help so many of these people who are in dire strait. We have here footwear, and we do have clothing that comes from time, but we've also had things to repair the homes. We've repaired many homes.
Social Services and Urban Development Minister, the Honourable Obie Welshcombe, says many talk, but Mother Pratt delivers.
So many of our people who need food, so many of our people who need shelter, and our ministry, in partnership with organizations like the Mother Pratt Foundation and the Friends from Abroad, are seeking to bring relief. The bottom line is we are seeking to wipe the tear from every eye. And it doesn't matter who or where they are. We're searching them out, and we will bring relief.
Junkanoo season upon us, and one of the leading groups in the country, the Valley Boys, will this Saturday host the first ever Valley Fest at Fort Charlotte. Letting us in on the details, committee member Nakia Christie.
It's going to be a day of family, food, fun, entertainment, culture, music. We're doing a little something different. We're getting off of Bay Street, and we're bringing all of our expertise here to Fort Charlotte for Valley Fest. While it's a celebration of community and culture, art and music and all the things that make Valley Boys and our fan base and Junkanoo community in the wider sense great, we are really doing this because we're trying to raise funds for community outreach. And I want to stress that we're not raising funds for Bay Street, for costuming, for materials. We are raising funds for community outreach. We're looking to do a community center in Claridge Road, and we want to reach out to people in need. We want to mentor young Bahamians and share the love of Junkanoo with others.
The group will also use the opportunity to honor its current and past members.
Oh, it's going to be an exciting atmosphere. So first of all, we're going to start with the family. We have an amazing kiddie corner with bouncing castle, games, and we're going to have some Junkanoo demonstrations. The kids are going to be able to make some costumes, play with the instruments, and have a Junkanoo fun rush. So we're really excited about that. That goes back to sharing the love of Junkanoo. And we're also going to have great vendors, which we will hear a lot more about. And we're going to have live music performances. We have Lady E. We have some special guests who we can't name yet who are going to be out here, Bloody, and a lot of musical entertainment from the Valley Boys. And when I say that, I don't mean to rush out. We're planning something special for you from our music. And we're going to be here from 12 noon until midnight. So fun for the whole family, lots of different things to experience, food, drinks, fun, music, culture, and art.
All right, so we just want to encourage everyone to come out. It's going to be a day of camaraderie with all of the Bahamians. We want to encourage Junkanooers, non-Junkanooers, anybody who wants to have a good time. We encourage them to come out and have a good time with us.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Throughout all of our family islands, a Family Guardian home service agent can meet all your insurance needs. We offer life, health, and property and casualty insurance policies to help protect you, your loved ones, and your assets. With offices in Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Grand Bahama, and agents throughout the islands of the Bahamas, a Family Island agent is always nearby. Family Guardian, at your service, at your door. For any inquiries, WhatsApp us at 357-9632.
Shell
Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Our future is here. And no matter the result, we must come together. Together, we will innovate. Together, we will lead the way. Our future belongs to us. Happy Election Day, my fellow Bahamians. Leading the Bahamas in home improvement since 1973.
Are you a contractor or new homeowner? Maybe you need a few pieces of lumber for your DIY projects. Welcome to Capital Lumber, the newest building materials company in the Bahamas. Located on Parkgate Road, Nassau, helping you to maximize your savings on lumber, cement, shingles, tools, and much more. Your one-stop shop for all your building essentials. With free delivery to the mail booth, visit us today. Capital Lumber, build strong.
It's an island holding the title of the fifth largest economy in the Bahamas and one that's home to arguably a world wonder. And now that world wonder is set to receive a much-deserved facelift. Anthony Smith was on the island of Eleuthera as residents were consulted about the project. She has this update.
Just like the water during peak weather season, it's a problem that's been raging for years.
They said sometimes you have to play a game of chicken. Yes. Trying to get from the north to the south or from the south to the north.
Now a fix to one of nature's wonders finally on the horizon. The assessments have been finalized and designs rendered. Ministry Works officials are now in the next phase to ensure the construction of a new glass window bridge in Eleuthera.
We are speaking now with the Caribbean Development Bank with respect to the funding. The design is just about completed. So we should know shortly. There are also some interest in terms of PPP. So within the next 2 months, we should have a funding pathway. And then, of course, we will move on to procurement.
The current bridge is a single-lane carriageway boasting a capacity of 12 tons that has its limitations. The new design, considered to be the most eco-friendly of the three, will feature a larger ton capacity to allow for better transport from island ends and panels at points along the bridge to protect the roadways and residents from raging waters during water events.
Well, we've decided to go with the option where all the columns that support the bridge are on the land and we don't put any impact on the sea life or on the marine environments. Neither do we want to do one where we do an earth-filled road that's going to block the circulation in the Caribbean Sea right now. So we chose the one where we're on the land on the Caribbean side where the rock is exposed and we don't have hardly any impact whatsoever on the environment.
It's news which comes much to the delight of Eleutherans. The proposed park and side attraction, one which residents hope will boast a further economic activity.
And now we're looking forward to what the Ministry of Works will do to get it completed, to put it out for tender. And tonight the technical team announced that they hope that we can start early quarter next year. So we're looking forward to that. And I'm sure the people in Eleuthera will once again feel proud of the bridge that they have, one of the wonders of the world. And that will help to integrate culture and a part of who we are as Eleutherians.
Once the procurement process is done and a contract tenured, the new glass window bridge project is slated to take 3 years. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoine Smith.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We have just a few clouds floating around outside of our studios with a warm temperature of 90 degrees, relative humidity 62%, the winds out of the north-northeast at 11 miles per hour, barometric pressure of 1,013.0 millibars, that's 29.90 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the family violence this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 87 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool, Key, and Marshall, Babaco. The Berry Islands, 89. Allenstown, Bimini, 88 degrees. 88 also in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 89. Black Point, Exuma, and Kemp Space, St. Andros at 86. Fresh Creek, Central Andros, 85 degrees. 86 in Otterstown, Canal, San Salvador, and Rum Key. Georgetown, Exuma, 87. 87 in Rigot Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and the Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Magona, 85. Acklands, 85. Machitown, Ilagua, 87. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 85 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. For all areas, light and variable winds with flat seas, 1 to 3 feet. Low tide takes place at 1:28 tonight. And then tomorrow in the northwestern parts, and for all areas, pardon me, the winds are going to be northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide, that will occur at 7:26 in the morning with a low tide at 1:36 in the afternoon. As we take you into Sunday in the northwestern islands, the winds become easterly at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Tide-wise, it's going to be high at 8:05 in the morning with a low tide at 2:17 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Sunday, east to southeast winds 12 to 18 knots and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags in place. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Looking for you, but hey, y'all, where you been, y'all? I've been looking for you. I've been chilling out by the bar last night. This y'all, she was looking nice. She blew my mind right on the side. I start to order drinks and I drink everything. She make me feel like a king. Now I didn't know I asked to take her home. I said I live alone.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
When I wake up, my hair now was already gone.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Welcome to the Cable Bahamas Business Solutions Cybersecurity Tip of the Day for data backups. Regularly backup your business's data. Set your backups to happen automatically and store them somewhere secure. When considering data backups, consider the rule of 3-2-1. Have 3 local backups, 2 digital backups, and 1 offsite backup. Remember, stay safe, stay informed, and stay protected.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your TGIF Look at Sports. I'm Charles Fisher, so let's get to it. Game 1 of the Government League Basketball Championships running at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gym last night, and just having finished off their semifinal series the night before, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Panthers didn't look like they had the tired legs at all as they raced out to a 1-0 series lead over the Ministry of Economic Affairs based in Grandstand Cybots with an 87-81 win.
We started off flat. It was a good game. We knew their game plan, so we just was patient enough to the third, fourth quarter, and we executed down the stretch. We used our bigs the way we supposed to.
No time to rest for Coach Perry Dahl and crew as they are right back at it tonight at the Kendall Isaacs Gym, tipping off at 8 o'clock, and Game 3 is on Saturday.
Fatigue will play a factor. I have a younger team. We in shape. I'll have to go to my bench deeper than I normally do at this time. They're going to make the adjustment. So are we. We're going to do the same. We'll be ready. I do not like the format, because we played last round. We played 5 games, My guys are tired. But, hey, they have to suck it up. We want this. We're hungry. We need this.
It has already been indicated that sailing will be the national sport, but which ministry will it fall under, as it is presently under the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources? It was once under the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, like most local sports are. We put that question to the minister responsible for sports, the Honorable Mario Bole.
Sailing will be the national sports. I've spoken to colleagues and other persons involved in sailing who believes that it should be under this ministry if it's going to be the national sport. But again, it's in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, which I have no difficulty with it being there because they also deal with local government and family island affairs. And so wherever, the PM or whoever seems that it should be, wherever it may be, I'm fine with where it's at, whether it comes under sports or not, even though some persons are saying it should. But, I think Clay Sweeting is doing a great job with it now that he got the regattas. And so I have no doubt that he will continue doing the best he can to make sure that regatta is moving. So, again, we are one umbrella, one government. We just want to make sure that sailing, which is most indigenous sport to the country, be recognized and known as our national sport.
And as we continue our conversation with the minister reflecting on 1 year later, tonight we discuss facilities and the improvements being done heading into next year's Bahamas Games.
We have graded Kendall Isaac, and of course we fixed the quad fields here on the Blues playing field. We have also repaired Grand Bahama. But what's most important, as you said, is that we must get the facilities in the Family Islands up and running. And right now, they are at a disadvantage in preparation for the Bahama Games. And so I'm presently working on a cabinet paper to present very soon to cabinet that would allow us to commence the work in the Family Islands. Cabinet would have already approved a previous paper which we had put in for a 10-year plan for $40 million over a 10-year plan, which is $4 million a year for the development of the Family Islands. So I'm seeking for us to move now to the Family Islands like Abaco and Eleuthera, Cat Island, Exuma, those islands that are desperately in need. Of course, not forgetting North and South Andres, but we also got facilities here that needs to be prepared for the Bahama Games, which is both Donald Davis and the AFRD Gymnasium. Because those two also will be utilized. But we don't want the Family Islands feel as though that they have been forgotten. But the Prime Minister has made sure that he remind me that it's important that we get to the islands and start these facilities, especially the softball, basketball, and the tracks. And we can get those three in each of the Family Islands up and running, at least one in every Family Island, then we can come back and look at the other various parks. But that's what's most important in order for them to prepare for the island games and the Bahama games, is that they got facilities that they can compete at.
Bahamians a big hit in helping Great Britain qualify for the World Baseball Classic next year as they finished the qualifications at 3-0. Deshaun Knowles was key, finished the qualifiers tied for third with 6 hits, 4 runs scored, 1 home run and 4 RBI.
It's a great accomplishment qualifying for World Baseball Classics and for the first time for that country. And to be on that roster, it means a lot. I mean, I had a lot of fun. That was my first time in Germany, too, playing European baseball, so it was good. And when I first came there, I was kind of scared, kind of timid, you know, because this was like a world event. It wasn't like affiliated baseball or whatever, so. But my teammates, you know, they welcomed me with open arms, and was one of the reasons for how I performed last week.
As for wearing the colors of Great Britain and not the Bahamas?
Because, you know, the Bahamas don't have like a team, a professional team. It was great playing besides my brothers, you know what I mean? So whenever we have a chance or opportunity to do that, like, we got to take advantage of that. And us qualifying, we you know, open up more doors for other guys to come play with us too, like Jazz, Chisholm. You know, we kind of paving the way for the other younger guys like Ian Lewis and Doc Stubbs to represent Team Great Britain as they grow in their professional career. It was fun. It was a great experience, and can't wait to do it next spring in Taiwan.
Hope to see Team Bahamas in one of the tournaments in the future. That's going to do it for Sports Friday. I'm Charles Fisher. Enjoy your weekend.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Welcome to the Global Learning Exchange. We're partnering with BIBT to bring opportunities for higher education to the Bahamas. Earn your degree from a university in the U.S. right here at home. Visit us online to learn more.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible, which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
Being the CFO at this young age, it really is very fulfilling to me, and it really shows that the hard work, the hours that I put in my career, they really paid off. Having such young persons in such a key role really shows that the board of directors have a lot of trust in the leadership of the young people. Being committed to excellence means that you put all of your effort into whatever it is you're doing to get the best benefit out of that task or anything you're doing in life.
A penny saved? Forget pennies, save dollars at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 7-ounce, 99 cents. Mott's apple juice, 64-ounce, $4.99. Carter bath tissue, 4-pack, $2.49. Turkey wings, $1.99 per pound. Fresh celery, $1.99 each. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we have 2 little trophies from Fiona that's across the northwest Bahamas, the second one over the extreme southeastern Bahamas, and they could trigger 1 or 2 showers during the course of tonight and tomorrow. Our forecast for tonight here in the capital, we're looking at mainly clear conditions with a low temperature of 79 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny, a bit warm, 88 degrees for your high temperature, and the extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. Not too bad tomorrow, but on Sunday you could get a couple of showers in the forecast. forecast, and that will carry us right into Monday of next week when we'll see a bit more clouds work their way into our forecast. Daytime highs in the upper 80s, overnight lows in the upper 70s. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.